Former president has said that he will indeed testify, at least in a deposition, for the January 6th committee. Former President Donald Trump said Thursday that he's eager to give sworn testimony in his lawsuit against big tech so he can air his claims that the 2020 election was stolen from him. Okay, so he says he's going to, I was confused here. I thought he was going to give a deposition for the committee. No. He's saying in his lawsuit against big tech, which he is probably not going to get deposed for, this is all bullshit. We're going to talk about that here in a second. He's saying that during his deposition for that lawsuit, he'll talk about the January 6th riot. I look forward to it. Actually, Mr. Trump told the first Bill O'Reilly in an interview airing Thursday night, I love talking about the election fraud because it was the most fraudulent election. We know you love talking about it, asshole, because you don't want to take responsibility for your loss. Former president announced Wednesday that he will lead a class action lawsuit over alleged censorship against Twitter, Facebook, and Google, which removed him from their platform after the January 6th attack on the Capitol by thousands of his supporters. So since we're talking about the tech lawsuit, let's go ahead. Let's hear from Trump's legal counsel about the case they think they have in this lawsuit.
There is no better evidence that big tech is out of control than the fact that they banned the sitting president of the United States earlier this year. If they can do it to me, they can do it to anyone. This censorship is unlawful, it's unconstitutional, and it's completely un-American.
This motherfucker doesn't even know how the Constitution works, and right-wingers elected him president.
The three big
It's embarrassing. I wish you idiots could feel embarrassment.
They claim that they violated his First Amendment rights. Now, the lawsuit was filed today in the Southern District of Florida. They seek injunctive relief and damages for a group of Americans harmed by the social media company's decisions to silence them. Joining me now is John Cole, one of the group's lead attorneys. John.
Whoa! Is this guy even alive? Look at this dude. They dug him out of a grave. This is a zombie from The Walking Dead. What the hell? I don't want to make fun of somebody's appearance, but this dude's skin is falling off his face. What the? This is the best that the former president could dig up for his stupid-ass lawsuit.
Good to see you. Explain in layman's terms for us how you can answer the claim that these companies, they're just private enterprises, not government actors that are constrained otherwise by the Constitution.
Okay, the Supreme Court over the years has defined what...
Yeah, I'm flipping out over an old man. I'm sorry.
And there's actually, you by encouraging is one of the prongs of it. And they did that when they gave these companies immunity. Now, they gave it way before they even existed, which makes it silly. But they've encouraged them by giving them immunity to do...
What he's talking about when he says immunity is Section 230, which prevents fucking Facebook from being sued for content on their web. Like, if somebody was using a Facebook group to traffic children, you can't sue Facebook because they were trafficking children, which makes perfect fucking sense. They really ruined the internet when they passed FAFSA. FAFSA is the thing you fill out for the FOSTA. That's it. FAFSA is the thing you fill out for college. FOSTA is what changed it for like the sex trafficking shit. It carved out an exception for that, and that's why you don't have personals on Craigslist ads anymore. Because Craigslist could be sued for, like, facilitating prostitution or some shit. Yeah, I know. I can't even say it once, let alone 3 times.
Do things that Congress can't do themselves. Congress can't censor you. Also, by coercion, when all those Democratic senators I don't know, the last year and a half, kept threatening these companies, if you don't do what we say and ban Trump, censor their definition of misinformation or hate speech, we will maybe.
So, of all the lawyers, Castor, Giuliani, of all the lawyers, where do you think this guy ranks, huh? You think he's competent?
You think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
Tear you apart. We might take away your immunity, whatever, but the Supreme Court has said you can't coerce them to do those things. And the other thing you can't do is participate in government actions, as Fauci did with Facebook and with CDC did with Twitter and Facebook. Now, it's just fine if Fauci or the CDC want to say something or give their opinion, that's one thing. But they do not have the right as government entities to censor people who may have a different opinion. So what they did is they farmed that out to Facebook, Twitter, and Google. And they can't do that. That makes them state actors, which means that the First Amendment, freedom of speech, applies.
Zuckerberg wrote that note to Fauci that just came out, 3 or 4 weeks ago when all those emails came out. Remember, there was that paragraph toward the end of the note. It was, it was lauding Fauci's leadership.
Oh, for a while it was stop the steal. Now it's stop the silencing.
And when you read it, you read the rest of the letter, it seemed like it was
a nice little slogan for them now.
We're going to do better to crack down on misleading claims. That's where it seemed like that probably would go. It's just my guess. But that would be dispositive, perhaps, toward your claim that they're kind of colluding together, to use their favorite word, as a quasi-state actor. Are you going to move to try to get that paragraph?
Stop the stop!
Unblacked out.
Absolutely.
Unredacted.
We will get that paragraph unblocked. And the thing is, there's a lot of other evidence that the CDC, Fauci, and others, NIH.
Also, notice when he gave those
censor things
remarks yesterday, it made it look like he was in front of the White House with the columns and everything and all the flags.
Frivolous claim that you've raised. Watch.
This case is dead on arrival, and I think President Trump and his lawyers know it. I think
Absolutely. This is about fundraising. This is so they can keep idiot-ass right-wingers aggrieved, so they'll keep giving them money. Because Trump is in deep legal shit, and he needs money.
Then a legal case.
That's a former U.S. District Attorney. Ms. McQuaid thinks
who knows a hell of a lot more than this dumb fuck.
Well, that's really good for somebody who just found out about it a few hours ago. I wish I was that smart. I mean...
I bet you do, dude.
Much smarter than I am. Probably you are, too. Who knows?
Yes!
Immediately came out with, and this wasn't surprising, person after person.
I'd put money on it.
This is just a fundraising ploy, John. This is just Donald Trump trying to raise money. Somehow you
built more money from his dumbass supporters
for the class action, the legal fees, and use it to advance, Trump's political ambitions for the
to live off of. The motherfucker is broke. Deutsche Bank cut him off.
For Donald Trump surpasses all reason. Behind me at that stage.
And that's another thing. A lot of them are like, oh, you just hate Donald Trump. Of course I do. Any reasonable person would hate the motherfucker. He's a child rapist who tried to end democracy, who thought Hitler did some good things. And that's just the top line shit.
Today should have been the ACLU, which is gone. Who knows where they've gone? But this is a classic suit for them, and it's ridiculous that the left doesn't understand. They're getting the conservatives this week. In 5 years, they're going to get the liberals. You can't have this kind of.
And there's that shit again. Like, oh, next they're going to be coming for you, motherfucker. I'm permanently banned from Twitter and Facebook. Have been for years. What the fuck is wrong with you? You didn't come to my aid. You didn't come to anybody's fucking aid until fucking Trump paid you to dig your ass out of a grave and get on TV and go talk to fucking Nazi Ingram.
Free speech and taken away like this. It's really disgusting.
Well, one would think that the Republicans might have, when they had the majority, Paul Ryan was the Speaker of the House, and they had the majority in both houses. There were a lot of conservatives, especially, saying it's time to break up these tech companies. It wasn't done. Everyone's trying to be buddy-buddy with Zuckerberg, and even President Trump had those guys to the White House, sat around the table.
Well, yes, because you have told us over and over again, you right-wing assholes, that corporations are people, that corporate power is all that matters,
One of the
capitalism trumps everything.
things that's really sad is this is prior restraint. That means I'm going to gag you before you talk because I think I might know what you're going to say. The Supreme Court...
Absolutely not. It was him violating the terms of service. He'd been violating their terms of service for years, and they looked over it. It wasn't until he attacked the country that they banned him.
How many people in the class total?
I got banned for picking on Nazis, you asshole.
They're coming in out of the woodwork. Nobody knew it existed. Right now we have about 75, 80 people, but it'll go into the thousands, and then we have to identify them as part of the class action suit.
It is absolutely time to break up the oil companies.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
You know, it is that the lawsuit is a class action lawsuit. I should join it. I have agreements with the tech companies. Let's see what I'm going to do the research, see if I can join Trump's class action lawsuit. I'm going to do it. That'd be fun. All right, report identifies officer who killed Ashli Babbitt, allegedly. We're reading from Town Hall, which is a far-right nutjob publication, pointing that out. Earlier this month, former President Trump wondered in an email statement to supporters who killed Ashli Babbitt during the January 6th Capitol riot. Well, she was breaking the law, first of all. Thus far, efforts by Babbitt's family, journalists, and watchdog groups to get the U.S. Capitol Police to release the identity of the officer who shot Babbitt have been futile. USCP is shrouded in secrecy and is not subject to Freedom of Information Act requests. As RCI pointed out, the refusal to name the officer has led to false rumors circulating on the internet, but the officer's identity appears to have been revealed by the acting House Sergeant-at-Arms during a briefing earlier this year, a detail that was ultimately scrubbed by C-SPAN and CNN. So one of the rumors that have been circulating around is that the person who shot Ashli Babbitt was not actually a Capitol Police officer. That was actually a member of Pence's security detail. I don't know what the validity is. That's just a rumor that's been going around. Could be one of the explanations for the secrecy. Now, a new name has surfaced in the Babbitt imbroglio. Lieutenant Michael L. Byrd. Imbroglio? I've never seen that word before. We're going to look it up.
Imbroglio.
An extremely confused, complicated, or embarrassing situation I've been admitting in
Imbroglio
in my life. While the USCP Communications Director, Eva Malecki, won't confirm he is the shooter, in this case, she isn't denying it. In a little-noticed exchange, Byrd was cited by the acting House Sergeant-at-Arms during a brief discussion of the officer who shot Babbitt at a February 25th House hearing. Both C-SPAN and CNN removed his name from the transcripts, but CQ transcripts, which according to its website provides the complete word from Capitol Hill exactly as it was spoken, recorded the Capitol official referring to the cop as Officer Byrd. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, in every other case, I would say absolutely the family deserves to know who the officer is. So I'm, to be consistent in my beliefs, yeah, the Babbitt family probably does need to know who the officer is and needs to know the details of the investigation. I would demand that of any other investigation. However, she was clearly shot with cause, and it was justified. She was breaking a window to get into the House chambers where elected officials were just mere feet from her. So you guys know how I feel about cop shootings. Once again, this was a crazy nut job that was somewhere where they don't need to be. It's not like I get upset about cops when they shoot somebody that's like charging at them with a gun, actually shooting at them. I get upset when cops shoot people in the back. I get upset when cops shoot unarmed citizens. This woman was legitimately feet away from elected officials that either the Capitol Security or the Secret Service was charged with protecting. Now, the Arizona Secretary of State says that she will be seeking an investigation into Trump and his allies. Katie Hobbs, a Democrat, is calling on State Attorney General Mark Brnovich, who is a Republican, to look into reports that former President Trump and his allies attempted to make contact with election supervisors in Maricopa County in the weeks following the November election. Apparently, there was indeed rampant fraud in the 2020 election, and it was Trump trying to commit it. Attempted rampant fraud. Hobbs, in a request sent via email Wednesday and shared on Twitter, cited reporting by the Arizona Republic, which detailed attempts by the former president to contact Republican Maricopa County Supervisor Clint Hickman on 2 separate occasions following the election. According to the Republic, attempts to contact election supervisors were also made by Trump allies, including Arizona GOP Chair Kelly Ward and Trump personal attorney Rudy Giuliani.
Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
As well as the Kraken, old Sidney Powell. Hobbs, in her letter, recalled a report that Ward told the chairman of the Board of Supervisors on November 7th, as the votes were still being tallied, "We need you to stop the counting," and later reportedly told him, "I know you don't want to be remembered as the guy who led the charge to certify a fraudulent election." Arizona Secretary of State urged Brnovich to investigate and take appropriate enforcement action against what she called potential violation of Arizona's election laws. Arizona, which has been the site of the crazy-ass audit, which, like the Delta variant, will be spreading to other parts of the country. Pennsylvania seems to be next. A Pennsylvania state senator who claims former President Donald Trump encouraged him to run for governor is now trying to do an Arizona-style forensic audit of his state's votes, claiming it's critically necessary for our Commonwealth for the sake of transparency and accountability. State Senator Doug Mastriano called for an audit of Pennsylvania's election on Wednesday, sending letters to Philadelphia and the smaller counties of York and Tioga, requesting information and materials needed to conduct a forensic investigation of the 2020 general election and the 2021 primary. Mastriano gave the counties until July 31st to submit a plan for compliance. That compliance is voluntary, however, and so far, no subpoenas have been issued.